Good morning. Happy Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. All right. Cool. All you Thor's hammer lovers. Protection amulet against the chaos of the world. All right. Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing.
Wow.
In NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Kristen Wright. Power outages are widespread as a result of Hurricane Idalia, now a tropical storm. Hundreds of thousands of people and businesses in the path of Idalia, from Florida up through Georgia and the Carolinas, are without electricity. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says some power has been restored. Meanwhile, rising water is still a serious threat. Charleston, South Carolina saw near record tides. Robbie Berg is a senior hurricane specialist with the National Hurricane Center. He says eastern North Carolina should also stay prepared.
There's going to be storm surge across eastern North Carolina today and strong winds. So it's by no means is it over, and it won't be over until this evening.
In Johannesburg, South Africa, at least 73 people were killed today in a building fire. Ish Mafindikwa reports the cause of the fire is still unknown.
The 5-story building in inner city Johannesburg was occupied by homeless people who are said to be predominantly undocumented migrants from other African countries.
So somebody burnt down the building of homeless people?
Media, the fire
I mean, we don't know how the fire started, supposedly, but homeless people building?
Divide space. South Africa boasts sub-Saharan Africa's second largest economy after Nigeria, and it attracts people looking for greener pastures from all over the continent and Asia. For NPR News, I am Ish Mafundikwa in Harare.
North Korea's military has carried out a simulated attack on South Korea where it seized the country.
Simulated?
NPR's Anthony Kuhn says it's a response to joint military exercises
simulated?
involving the U.S. and South
So
Korea.
you're going to act like they're attacking them when they did a simulation?
Kim Jong-un visited the headquarters of the Army's chief
That's
of
not
staff
right, man. You're going to put the wrong idea in
exercises
people's
involving
heads.
the whole army. The drill scenario involved repulsing a U.S. and South Korean attack, then counterattacking and occupying all of South Korea. The exercise also included the launch of 2 short-range ballistic missiles, simulating a tactical nuclear strike on South Korean airfields and command posts.
Nuclear?
The U.S. and South Korea are
Why would
wrapping
they
up
want to
annual
nuke
drills
something
today
so
that
close to
included
their
at least
country?
one B-1B strategic bomber. North Korea sees such exercises as rehearsals for a preemptive nuclear strike, while the U.S. and South Korea say the drills
Why
are
would you want
strictly
to drop
defensive in
nukes
nature.
that close to home?
Anthony Kuhn, NPR News, Gunma Prefecture, Japan.
Military
That's a
coup leaders
ridiculous
in
drill.
Gabon
That's
have
what that
named a
is, ridiculous
transitional
drill.
leader to the Central African country. Army officers seized power
They probably
yesterday,
just put
projecting contested presidential
South
election
Korea in the
results.
drill because that's who they
The
fought with
deposed
before, you
president,
know?
Ali Bongo, appeared in a video in detainment.
It wasn't them
calling
personally,
all
it was just-
citizens for support.
That's
Bongo
who
and
they
his
used to
family
fight,
were in
so that's
power
what they
in Gabon
simulated.
for more than 50 years and faced opposition
That's
and
my guess.
discontent. The UN Secretary General has condemned the coup. You're listening to
Maybe
NPR
it'd be better
News
for y'all
from Washington.
if they pretended it was America they was going after,
A judge
huh?
in
United
Texas
States.
has struck
That'd be
down a
fun.
law that was set to take effect in Austin this week. Andrew Schneider with Houston Public Media says the law would have restricted
I'm very
changes
upset
to
with our
local
country right now.
regulations.
Opponents refer to House Bill 2127
They're
as the
starting
Death
wars
Star
all
law.
over the place.
Houston sued to strike down the measure, which bars
cool.
cities from passing regulations in 8 broad areas,
Anytime I
ranging from
hear-
labor and occupational codes to the environment.
U.S.
Our position is
supplied
that just frankly
that can be
violate the
interpreted
Texas
as
constitutional home rule provision.
U.S.
Houston City
cause.
Attorney Arturo Michel
That's
says the
right,
law
we're
set up
causing wars
cities
all
for
over
a
the freaking
barrage
place.
of lawsuits
It's
from
ridiculous.
trade groups, which smaller cities could not afford to fight.
Freaking teaming up
Because
with
of the
Al
ruling
Qaeda
today,
and all these people that were
I think we
supposedly
can do this
terrorists that we don't negotiate
Texas
with,
Attorney General's office is expected
and we're
to
using them
appeal
in
the
other
decision.
countries.
For NPR News, I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
In a new financial disclosure, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas acknowledges Republican mega
Government is crooked
Carter
as crap.
Crow paid
I
for
don't like it.
Thomas to take 3 trips aboard his private plane last year. Thomas has been under
Makes me think,
intense scrutiny since a
Would
ProPublica
other
report
countries like
uncovering
Russia and China
lavish vacations
back
and gifts
people here
from
in the
the
United
billionaire
States
benefactor.
to overthrow
In
or
Kansas
have
City,
a
Missouri, the
coup
man
or
who
whatever
shot a black
of
teenager
our
who
government?
mistakenly arrived at the wrong address to pick up his
Regime
siblings
change. Call
is
it
expected
regime
to appear in
change. Yeah.
court. Andrew Lester
Just like what we do in
previously
other
pleaded not
places. Oh, we're doing
guilty to
regime
felony
change. We're
assault.
doing regime change.
Meanwhile,
Maybe people
Ralph
back
Yarl
the
is
people
still
here in the United
recovering
States
from
to do a
traumatic
regime
brain injury
change.
from being shot in the head in April.
So
I'm Kristen
stupid.
Wright, NPR News.
We shouldn't be
in
doing that.
Washington.
Support.
There's a new way to support this show and public media. Please consider signing up for the NPR Plus podcast bundle. NPR Plus listeners get to
When we gonna
unlock
get somebody up in
sponsor-free
there?
shows and bonus episodes.
In the
You can find
presidency,
out more at plus.npr.org.
like Robert Kennedy Jr., somebody that's going to be truthful,
In
honest,
NASA
and
news.
freaking
A team led by NASA in
Not
Utah's West
so
Desert is in the final
militarily-
stages of preparing for the arrival of the first U.S. asteroid
authoritatively
sample
corrupt,
slated to land on
like
Earth in
dictatorship
September.
style, man. It's a freaking dictatorship. Is what the
NASA,
United
on
States
behalf of
is.
the National Oceanic and Atmospheric
The
Administration
dummies in charge
(NOAA)
are
has
dictating
awarded
that
4
war
contracts
happens
to
all over the
conduct
freaking
NOAA's
place
Sounder for
because they get rich off
Microwave-Based
it.
Applications (SMBA) Phase A
Not
study.
right. They're running down our country.
La NASA ha lanzado un nuevo sitio web en español para invitar al público a enviar sus nombres a
Kick
bordo
their
de
butts out of
Europa
office,
Clipper,
everyone.
una misión que iniciará su viaje
No
a
more
la luna
warmongers.
de Júpiter Europa en octubre de 2024.
You want to
Este
do
nuevo
defensive?
sitio web
You want
forma
to
parte de
defensify
una
the U.S.?
campaña de la
That's
agencia
fine.
llamada
You
Mensaje
want to go out there and
Europea,
freaking have regime
mediante la
changes and
cual
wars all over the
la
place to make
original
money off of?
dedicado a Europa.
Not okay.
An international crew of 4 representing 4 countries is in orbit following a successful launch to the International Space Station at 3:27 a.m. EDT Saturday, August 26th, from Launch Complex 39 at
Innocent
NASA's
people die
Kennedy
on
Space
both sides
Center
of
in
wars.
Florida. The agency's
Kids,
SpaceX
children.
Crew 7 mission is the 7th commercial crew rotation mission for NASA. Education and community organizations can apply to receive a living piece of spaceflight history to promote science, technology, engineering,
Bombing
and
in schools,
mathematics.
bombing in
Seeding run
hospitals.
from a tree seed that flew around the moon on
Oh,
NASA's
people.
Artemis I mission in late 2022. In weather. Currently, in Seattle it's 63 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can expect rainy weather, with a high of 69 degrees and a low of 57 degrees. From NASA.
All right,
A
Amazon
team led
off,
by NASA in Utah's
Amazon.
West Desert.
off. Let me tell you something about that North and South Korea, the Vietnam thing. Knew a guy. I say new. I consider no, but you know he's passed on by now. But he got drafted into the Marines. You didn't even know you could get drafted. I didn't even know you could get drafted to the Marines. But anyways. His mission was that he was given 10 seconds is your life expectancy. Because we're dropping you right in the thick of it. He survived. So he got dropped in to the grass fields. And he would lay down in the tall grass. There's people around him talking whatever in their language, and he would move like 3 feet in a day, if that. But what he would do is he'd try his best to get close enough to a village or whatever. Now this is real life war stuff that they don't tell you about on TV. This is what our government's doing to this day. These coups and things were harming innocents. This is one example of it. He would hear kids playing in the streets, you know, laughter. He would call in the coordinates of a village. And the airstrike would come and it'd be total silence. And that's what he had to live with. That's what he had to do for his country. That's what he had to freaking do. And our country is constantly starting wars under false pretense of regime change. Like, they support a small minority to take over their governments. If you've got a small group, we'll back you. We'll let Al-Qaeda, we'll take all these other terrorist groups and beef up your numbers and all this. Look at Haiti right now. I think is where it's going on. Our government's freaking corrupt, man. Our founding fathers would be very upset and want them overthrown and taken out. This is why they did checks and balances to get rid of this corruption. And then these idiots freaking loophole their way into being corrupt anyhow. We need to be a defensive nation, not an aggressive one. But we have authoritarian dictatorship controlling the military, dictating that we start wars all over, that we sell arms to people, that we help have overthrows of governments so that we, in return, get their resources. If we can have that small group take over their government, we can beef them up with terrorist groups and weapons. If we can have them take over, then we get their resources. We'll help you get regime change if we can steal the resources. People want to pretend like that don't happen? Come on. Everybody knows that's going on. Anyways, this video took a turn. Alright, Amazon, tell us a joke.
I once knew a peanut who wanted to be a teacher, so I recommended a job in macadamia.
Happy Thursday. Peace, prosperity, love. Hang in there. We'll turn good again one day. It's just going to take some effort on the people's part. And so it is.